Welcome back to Survivor China, bitches.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Where my skinny bitches at? All right.
Yeah.
Previously on Survivor China, who was voted out?
Jamie was voted out.
Jamie was voted out and embarrassed on the way. That's right.
It was pretty embarrassing. Yeah. It was tough to watch. Honestly, it was rough.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough, but James loved it. He was so hyped for it.
Yeah,
the whole time.
He was so excited. He's like, man, please let make this happen.
Yeah.
And it did. His wish was granted.
You know what? Something luckily I remembered now is that if we want to get back to it, since we skipped it last season, it will be the time for the power rankings. Do we want to do that
with the merge? That's right. Boy, it's too. I can't. Right off the cuff right now.
Well, I mean, it should have been done after the last episode. Yeah,
it should have been. We just got done recording like 2.5, 3 hours video. I don't even know if I have the. I don't even know if I have the brain to power to do it. Well, Todd's number one. Todd, maybe James next.
Do you have all the people in mind?
Amanda.
Todd, James, Amanda.
Mm-hmm. Frosty, Courtney, Jean-Robert, Eric, PG. I think that's it. I think that's everybody.
There's at least one more. I don't know if I missed anybody else. There's we're missing one lunch lady. Denise.
Oh yeah, Denise. Okay.
Easy to miss.
Throw Denise. Yeah. That's too bad. Throw Denise up just above Eric.
I mean, what do you want from me? I mean, she's
actually
the lunch lady can't eat food. You know?
Hold on. Maybe she might be up above. She might be just above Courtney. I would actually say. I'd say that. Yeah. They seem to trust Denise a lot. So
I'm trying to make sure that's everybody.
I think that's everybody.
Okay, so Todd, James, Amanda, Frosty, Denise, Courtney, Jean-Robert, Eric, PG.
I think so. Frosty and Denise can maybe go back and forth, but I actually might flip them even. Because Frosty was a merged member, but they do trust Frosty. Frosty's kind of like trusted because he saw the thing happen. He saw the switch.
Yeah.
But
all right.
He does seem to be on their side, so I don't know.
But so based on this, going into this episode, PG would be the most likely to be voted out. So let's see.
I think so. Yeah. But Jean-Robert is pretty low too, so I don't know. We'll see.
Good old.
The only thing is Jean-Robert is being held aloft by Todd somewhat. So.
Yeah. Purely just like I just need my numbers. Like I literally don't care about him whatsoever. It's just.
Yeah.
He's threatening me.
Pretty much.
To hold me personally accountable.
One of the most uncomfortable, like, claustrophobic scenes I've seen in Survivor in quite some time.
Yeah.
It was weird. That was weird.
We were just talking about the weather and he threatens me. You know, it's just
he's like, you know, if you ever double cross me, I mean, I will come find you.
Yeah.
There's always Rudy. I know people. I've got friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's one of the best. One of the best things in the world.
Too, yeah.
I got friends.
All right.
That's.
So, as always, click the link in the description to see the highlights of the reaction. Come back afterwards for the discussion. Okay.
Okay. See you then.
All right. Jean-Robert, the best player in the game, is voted out.
Yeah. He's the best player. In whose mind is he the best player in the game? In his mind, yeah, it's true. He's the best player.
There you have it, Jean-Robert voted out. It's kind of like the drum that's been beaten for a while. Though we had a lot of. It took us on a wild journey to get there this episode, where Jean-Robert like discovering that an immunity idol exists and looking for it on his own, only to be told by Eric that James essentially has them, and then he goes and confronts James and said, "Are you are you with me or not? You don't want to be against me in this game. It's not going to end well for you. And
yeah.
then,
Yeah, and it's just like, I know you have him, man. And he's just like, I don't know what you're talking
and
about.
then Todd seemingly was just annoyed that John Robert came to him with the idea he already had. And he's like,
Yeah.
I don't like John Robert coming up with ideas. Like, we need to stop this. Letting him come up with ideas.
Yeah, seemingly enough, at least according to the edit, that's like the reason. And it's just kind of like, okay.
It's
That's
the
kind of
scheming of man. He does not want to see other people
scheming of man. He
in
does not like
participating
the
in
scheming
that.
of man.
He wants to
Yeah,
be
so.
the only one doing the scheming of man. So
The scheming of man. So yeah.
So quickly, his initial idea was to go for James, and quickly he flipped it on Jean Robert.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, I think ultimately it's the right decision because we get John Robert out of here, but like everyone else is kind of miserable this season. So it's
Well,
no, I'm not saying like they're miserable to watch, but they look
sad?
they don't look like they're all sad sacks. So yeah, it's gonna be.
So wait, what about that? Everybody looks miserable.
What do you mean?
What about it?
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's great that we got John Robert out of there, but everyone else who's left there is all a bunch of sad sacks too.
Well,
So it's like, okay, it's a benefit.
Courtney might be a little happier at least.
Yeah, Courtney will be happier, and that's always good to see. I'll be happy to see that. But, yeah.
And James. So who voted with John Robert there for James?
PG
PG and Eric.
and Eric. Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. They just didn't let him in on the plan. They didn't. Yeah, they couldn't trust her with that information. Wait, no, but initially the plan was James, and they were saying we're not going to tell PG because she'll go in and tell James about it. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
They ultimately, I guess
right.
they did tell her, and then didn't tell her about the John
something.
Robert plan.
But she was thinking like James was a possible threat. What may have happened is that Jean Robert may have got in on that, be like, hey, let's get James out because he's been doing this. He might have come in and said something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess Eric would be down with that, so he would probably also want PG to be. And then Denise, poor Denise, just sort of like, let's not even tell her. Like,
completely on the sidelines in terms of what's going on.
Sorry, you're on the wrong tribe, PG. That's about it.
Yeah, with Denise, it's like first of all, it's like she doesn't get picked for the water bailing thing, and like at all. So she doesn't even get an opportunity to get a reward. She doesn't even get the opportunity to get reward, which I think kind of messed up personally. I don't know. I think that's kind of. I don't really like that.
I don't either, but I mean, I guess it can like open people's eyes in certain situations where it's like they pick these people before me. They don't care. I don't get a reward.
Sure. So there's that.
But
then here, that happened, and then James, they were like, "Oh, should we tell Denise?" And he's like, "Hell no!" And I was like, "Whoa, what the heck's going on here? Why not? Why would we tell her that?"
They don't trust. Like she's too much like by the numbers. Like she wants to stick with the people, her tribe. So
I guess
she's worried. They're worried that she would be upset by that. I guess. But
maybe I don't know.
That's funny. She was not picked for the reward challenge, and then not picked to vote with anybody on as well.
And she was also the one when we went back to that tribe. They were like, "Oh, we should get rid of Jean Robert. He's a big problem." And they were all against. They were like, "Yeah, but let's talk about it. Let's maybe think about going Jean Robert." Isn't that interesting? They were all thinking that way, and most of them were the old, whatever they're called tribe.
John who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then Denise is just like very, very safe answer of like, if it's best for me to go with you guys, I'll go with you guys. If it's best for me to go with them, I'll go with them. It's like okay. And then she's like, oh, she's going into it thinking, oh, nice easy voting for PG here, and then. Literally no one else voted for PG. Okay. Left out of everything. Truly, like the kid that's left out, schoolyard pick, ostracized.
For sure.
What else? What else happened this episode? Courtney won immunity on the barrel balancing challenge.
Yeah, Courtney won immunity on the Challenge I call it Dragon, Ride the Dragon.
Yeah. Good good end result for this episode for Courtney, huh? Got the immunity.
Yeah.
Got John Robert
And
gone.
this chair. Yeah. Oh well, we had Jean Robert looking around for clues. That was like, I think probably one of my favorite moments was like him looking around for clues, and he picks out some plaques and he hides them, and then he goes and he's talking to Eric and he's like, yeah. By the way, I have the media idols, and Eric's like, yeah, yeah, you think so? And he's like, I'm pretty sure you don't. I'm pretty sure I know that you don't.
Yeah, what if I
He's
were to
like,
tell you as he's like smiling, like all
yeah,
cheeky,
it's like,
all smug? What if I were to tell you I don't? I'm pretty sure you don't have the idol, actually.
yeah, actually.
He's like, well, I'd say you probably don't have as many clues as I do.
He's like, well, I'm gonna tell you that we 100% saw James' bag, and he had 2 of them. So yeah, that was a pretty good move. I mean, that, I don't know. I don't want to say. I think that move right there may have turned the whole tide of the episode. Because if Jean Robert had been kept in the dark, it's hard to say. Because he wouldn't have flipped out. You know, he wouldn't have gone to so many different people. Todd may have stayed the same way and had looked to get James out. So
yeah,
it's interesting. There's a lot of moving parts kind of in this episode, which is really interesting.
Todd didn't like John Robert getting cute about it. He was like,
Yeah.
"I was fine when you had no idea what was happening and
Yeah.
didn't know an idol existed, but now you know, and you're just starting to actually have ideas of your own.
Yeah.
Then can't
Right.
have that." And but it was fun when they're like all there at the reward, and like everybody else knows exactly where the idols are. And they just have to placate Jean Robert the whole time. You just pretend like, oh yeah, I haven't even heard about an idol.
Honestly, this is like the more I think about this episode, the more this almost gets a Survivor star. This is actually like, this is a legitimately great episode, I think.
It's cool. There's some depth to it, you know. It's like,
yeah,
there's some funny character moments and
funny moments. The American immunity idol.
Mm-hmm.
There was that. The Courtney winning and like getting her way finally, even though she was like very passive about it.
She's like, "Is this what I have to do all along? I just had to not say I want to vote John Robert."
Not say, yeah, that's.
And people will just naturally want to vote John Robert eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's funny though, because it's like John Robert trying to catch up to the information that like everybody else knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the episode focus on that.
It was a fun episode for sure. Really enjoyable.
Yeah. Who would you give your MVP for the episode?
Boy, that's tough. I think we can give it to Courtney. Actually, you know, she tried her redemption for Courtney. I think she did the best she could at the bailing thing. They're like, oh yeah, we'll pick her because she's light, and then she like get dumped on.
Yeah, it's like one time she gets picked over one person. I was like, we'll never pick you again. I mean, look at the results.
She had some fun, snarky comments pretty much throughout the episode, and then I mean she, winning immunity kind of decided I would say sold or solidified the kind of the decisions I think for everybody, because if that had gone elsewhere, if that had gone to JR, or if that had gone to, heck, even if it had gone to someone like Frosty, I mean, it might have looked a little bit different. But
so you're liking Courtney without so much of the John Robert conflict, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so now that John Robert's out of here,
because like even with John Robert there on the episode he gets voted out, there really wasn't any conflict between them.
There wasn't any. Yeah. Yeah,
because I guess she's just like, you know, I tried. Like I've been saying that like the last several times that I wanted to go on. Very vocal.
How many times
about
have I said it? If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Get this man off of here.
So I'm just like, I'll give up. I won't even talk about it anymore. And it's like, hey, Courtney, who do you want to vote out? I don't know, John Robert?
Yeah.
How's that sound? Oh, I mean, I guess that could work if that's what you guys want. Sure.
Jean Robert being 2 steps behind everyone was kind of fun, but like it doesn't really make him MVP because he was a strong.
He's the
contender.
LVP
Like,
in that way, I guess.
he's the loser of the
least
the
valuable
MVP,
player.
the least valuable player.
he's behind more than, I guess, everybody. Well, actually, yeah, even worse than Denise. You know, he got voted out and didn't know about the idol. But
yeah, at least Denise knows about the idols. She's fully aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a fun dynamic to the episode. Like, that's a fun dynamic for Jean Robert. This guy is like all like, you know, I'm a poker player. I'm all about the reads and everything.
Yeah.
And braggadocious in some ways. To be like,
yeah, I mean,
it's to be like, oh, like dinner. So confident. Like, I need to get this idol when he's like clearly he's already 3 steps behind.
Well, him at that dinner reading out all the clues, and then everyone else who's there like knows about the idols and or has them.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah, and then he's going up to James like threatening him and yeah. It was just like how he pretended to be like, no one told me. If anyone were to just figure it out of the blue, it would be me, right? I just have
would have been me, yeah.
I mean, a poker player, a bad boy, amazing reads.
I've sussed it out.
You know, I could just see it.
And yet he doesn't. And yet he doesn't suss out Todd's obvious lie. As well.
No, because Todd's not a flight attendant.
Yeah.
Clocked.
Yeah, clocked. He's not a flight attendant. Also.
He did say in the beginning, correct read, that he was like mischievous or something, whatever he said about him.
Yeah.
In the first conversation.
Yeah, but it was funny because he like Todd, he confronted Todd and he's like, "Oh, you're talking about James?" And he was like, "Wait, how'd you know I was gonna see James?" He was like, "Oh, there's been talk, there's rumors."
I've heard hearsay. Yeah.
I've heard there's hearsay, and it's like he bought that. Yeah, you buy it.
Yeah,
you buy that. That
you
was
just
like
hear rumblings, you know.
I was like, Todd's pretty good at lying, but that was one of the worst lies he's told this entire game. And you didn't, you bought that? Like, that was surprising.
And it's like, oh, you're not surprised at all that James might have 2 idols? Like, well, I mean, I've heard it here and there. It wasn't confirmed. You know, I heard it at the ancient village. I heard rumblings amongst the town. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, didn't you know? I know Mandarin, by the way. Oh. I know you know Mandarin, but did you know that I know Mandarin? Also, Jean Robert.
Chishi. Yeah. All right. How about we do a power ranking now? Jean Robert was previously, he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 7th out of 9. You was on 7th out of 9 on your power ranking.
7 of 9. Yeah. So I think we still got Todd. I think I'm actually gonna knock James down a peg here.
Everybody's talking about him already. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's talking about him. So we got Todd, Amanda, James, because James still does have the immunity idols, and now that he knows that like people might be looking at him a little bit more
out there. Yeah. He's gotten
so he still does have. He still does have some. He still does have some clout here because he still has power because he's got those idols. So, then let's go. I think Courtney's earning her keep here. I'm actually gonna bump Courtney up.
Todd, Amanda, James, Courtney.
Yep. And then we're gonna go Denise, Frosty, Eric, PG.
You still got the John Who's down, but Jeff said the game is wide open now. It's changed. It's not about tribes.
But Amanda was talking about getting rid of those John Who people in order.
She did. I like how every time we go over to Amanda, it's like, can we just do the normal thing? Like, I'm just gonna.
Can we just do the normal? Like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't care about the excitement going on around here. It's like I still think we should just do PG first, and then get to them later. It's like, okay. It's Robert China. Come back next week for another episode. It's been it's getting fun. Getting fun.
Yeah.
All right, and if you enjoyed this video, why don't you go check out the Scheming of Man episode of Survivor Cook Islands. That's right.
Yeah, check it out.
And subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. Like the video, leave a comment, and if you do, be sure to read in the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast. Unless there's some sort of spoilers or anything I feel would be better to fit into the season review, the discussion at the end of the season, what we will do. in a couple months' time here, or a couple months about. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Bye bye now.